Sairam students and welcome back in this session. Today we will continue with our lesson from the moments, that is lesson 10, The Beggar, written by Anton Chekhov. First we'll do a quick recap of what we have learned so far in the lesson. I hope you have gone through the lesson. The story revolves around the theme of kindness and compassion. Sahaji meets a beggar named Lashkov. He tells him that he was a school teacher in the village. Sahaji feels pity for him when he further adds that he is jobless and has no money to go in search of a new job. He, however, recognizes Lashkov as he was posing as a student a few days ago. Sergey is very furious with him. Sergey offers Lashkov the job of chopping wood and asks Olga is his cook, to guide him. Lashkov starts working unwillingly. He is really not interested in doing any kind of hard work. Sergey, from the window of his room, notices how the beggar was struggling to do his work. So, Sergey was observing what this particular beggar was doing. The beggar was extremely unwell and unhealthy owing to his bad habit of drinking. But because he was used to drinking, he was not in a position to do any kind of physical work. He was really very unhealthy. Thus, he could barely withstand the cold, and this made Sergi feel sorry for him. So, Sergi was really feeling bad that he had given him this kind of a job, that he couldn't even withstand the cold. He was so unwell and unhealthy. However, the beggar would come at the start of every month and chop the wood and earn his living. So somehow he was doing his job and he was offered this job to come down every month and chop wood for Sergi. So this way he was earning his livelihood. Lashkov began doing all kinds of jobs for Sergi and earned around 20 to 40 kopecks. So this way he was doing all the possible jobs that he was offering Lashkov, and he would earn around 20 to 40 kopecks. Lashkov helped Sergi when he shifted to another house. So when Sergi shifted to a new house, it was Lashkov who helped him shift his things, his furniture and everything. Owing to Lashkov's dedication to work, Sergi asked him to visit his friend where he could get a copying job. So looking at his physical condition and was unable to do all kinds of physical labor, Sergi decided to send him to his friend where he could do just a copying job, because he found that Lashkov could read and write. Now let's see what happened after this. Pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sergi tapped Lashkov kindly on the shoulder and even gave him his hand at parting. Lashkov took the letter, and from that day forth came no more to the yard for work. So Sergi was really happy that he had put a man into a right path. He was happy that he was going to a place where he could do some kind of work. Lashkov now took that letter which was addressed to Sergi's friend, and from that day he was not seen in the yard anymore. 2 years went by. Then, one evening, as Sergi was standing at the ticket window of a theatre, paying for his seat, he noticed a little man beside him with a coat collar of curly fur and a worn sealskin cap. So it was almost 2 years now when Sergi was standing at the ticket counter paying for his seat. He noticed one man who was standing beside him with a curly fur coat and a cap. Okay, so who was this person? This little individual timidly asked the ticket seller for a seat in the gallery and paid for it in copper coins. So, this person, this little man, he paid for his seat in the gallery. Lushkov, is that you? Cried Sergey, recognizing in the little man his former wood chopper. So now Sergey, when he saw the little individual, he immediately recognized. He addressed, saying that, is that you, Lushkov? And he recognized that this man was his former wood chopper. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? So he inquired everything about what was happening in his life, about what he was doing, how he was, how things were at his end. Lashkov replied, all right, I am a notary now and am paid 35 rubles a month. So he told Sergi that he was a notary now. He was a authorized person who could notarize the legal documents. Okay, and he was paid around 35 rubles a month. Thank heaven. That's fine. I'm delighted for your sake. I'm very, very glad, Lushkov. You see, you are my godson in a sense. I gave you a push along the right path, you know. So, hearing this, Sergey was really delighted. He was very glad that Lushkov was a notary now. Seeing him in this position, he was really happy. He also addressed him as his godson, meaning that he had been chosen by God to help Lushkov in a way to put him into a right path. Sergey was really delighted. Do you remember what a roasting I gave you? Eh? I nearly had you sinking into the ground at my feet that day. Thank you, old man, for not forgetting my words. So he also said that where he had scolded him so much on that particular day that he was not able to understand what had to be done. So thank you for not forgetting his words. Whatever he had instructed, Lashkov was following the same. Thank you too, said Lashkov. If I hadn't come to you, then I might still have been calling myself a teacher or a student to this day. Yes, by flying to your protection, I dragged myself out of a pit. So even Lashkov thanked Sergey for all the work he had done for him, all the things he had done for him. He also said that if Sergi had not brought him out from that particular pit, he would have still been calling himself a teacher or a student, lying to people, begging for alms. So he was really lucky that he had found Sergi, who had given him all the possible protection and encouragement to move ahead in life. I am very glad indeed. Thank you for your kind words and deeds. I am very grateful to you and to your cook. God bless that good and noble woman. So he also answered that he was really glad. Lashkov also said that he was very thankful for all the kind words and kind actions, being grateful to him, saying that the cook and Sergi had really taken care of him and protected him with lot of kindness and compassion. And he prayed to God that this woman, this cook of his, was also a great lady, a noble lady who had helped Lashkov a lot. You spoke finely then, and I shall be indebted to you to my dying day. But strictly speaking, it was your cook, Olga, who saved me. So Lashkov here said that Sergey spoke well, he attended to him, he helped him out when he was in distress. He is indebted to him till he dies, till his dying day. But he also informed that it was his cook, Sergey's cook, Olga, who actually saved him. Now, how did she save? How's that? When I used to come to your house to chop wood, she used to begin. Oh, you sot, you! Oh, you miserable creature! There's nothing for you but ruin. So now Sergey was wondering how is it possible that Olga had actually saved Lashkov. So he wanted to know. So Lashkov went on saying that whenever he used to come down to chop wood at his house, she would address him as a sot. Sot is a person who is a habitual drunkard, who is habituated to drinking, and a miserable creature, and also that there is nothing but total ruin for his life. And then she would sit down opposite me and grow sad, look into my face and weep. Oh, you unlucky man, there is no pleasure for you in this world, and there will be none in the world to come. You drunkard, you will burn in hell. She used to give him all the possible ill treatments, sitting there, words which hurt him a lot, saying that there would be no place for you in this world or the world above. He would find no pleasure if he's just going to sit doing nothing. She would sit down and just stare at his face and weep, saying that what would happen to you, you drunkard? Oh, you unhappy one. And so she would carry on, in that strain. I can't tell you how much misery she suffered, how many tears she shed for my sake. But the chief thing was she used to chop the wood for me. So now she would just go on and on, weeping for him, feeling really sorry for Lashkov, and shed so many tears that all the misery she suffered. But at the end, it was she who used to chop the wood for him. So Lashkov now told Sergey that it was Olga who used to do all the chopping of the wood. Do you know, sir, that I did not chop one single stick of wood for you? She did it all. Why this saved me, why I changed, why I stopped drinking at the sight of her, I cannot explain. So he explained to Sergi, saying that it was Olga who did all the chopping all the days he visited him. He had not chopped a single stick of wood for Sergi. Everything was done by Olga. He also said that why this changed him, why he stopped drinking. At the sight of her, he used to stop everything. He decided that he needs to change. It's very difficult to explain in words. I only know that, owing to her words and noble deeds, a change took place in my heart. She set me right, and I shall never forget it. However, it is time to go now. There goes the bell. Lashkov bowed and departed to the gallery. So now he also tells that he is indebted to Olga for all her efforts, all her deeds, all her compassion. He can never forget her. She has a special place in his heart because she was the one who actually transformed him totally, and she can never be forgotten by him. So now it was time for them to leave. The bell rang and they went off into the gallery of the theater. So now here we see that Lashkov was really uh, very happy to see Sergey. Also, that Lashkov was indebted to Olga, the cook, who was the person who actually helped him to transform himself and change his entire life. He had now become a changed person, and this kind of a life was due to Olga. Okay, so students, this is the lesson, this is the story. Go through it once again. Now, just we'll go through the message. What is the message we get from this story? The strongest message of the story is the effect that kindness can have on another human being. So, kindness can always change another person's life. Sergey helps Lashkov as he believes that hard work and dedication can help reform a person. Olga, on the other hand, helps him with kindness and compassion instead of being rude to him. So she also was really kind to Lashkov. This approach proves to be effective as it helped Lashkov realize his mistake and reform himself. So totally he was a reformed person because of this kind of approach that he got from Sergey and Olga. So it shows how a selfless act can have a life changing effect on the receiver to the extent that it gives him the incentive to change a way of life that he had become entrapped in. So, this kind of a selfless act will help a person who is trapped in bad company, bad habits, just change himself, transform himself into a good person, into a good human being who would do things for his betterment. So, this is the message the story gives us. Okay, now just go through the value points of this particular lesson so that you can understand it better. Just go through them. You can note them down, students. So here, like we see Olga, how she helped him. She helped him change his situation. How she helped him chopping the wood. He is very happy that he is doing the work. He keeps coming regularly. However, he mends his way and works hard, and finally he becomes a notary. Then after 2 years when they meet, Sergey and Lashkov meet, he's a totally changed person. And Lashkov gives all the credit to the cook, that is Olga, whose unconditional help changed his ways and he became successful. So this is the lesson. Students, go through them, go through the lesson once again. Now you will get a link wherein you need to answer the questions in that link and submit the same on that particular link. Thank you.